We're going to break stride here just a little bit. We have a special meeting of the Board of Directors of the 29 Palms Water District. We're going to do that first. So this meeting may be viewed on the district's website at www.29palmswater.net. The board reserves the right to discuss only or take action on any item on the agenda. Obviously, it's June 25th, 2025 at 4 p.m. And like I said, we're going to do this one first, and then we'll start in with our regular meeting. Cindy, can I have a roll call vote called order?
Director Arthur?
Here.
Director Bowden?
Here.
Director Coghill?
Here.
Director Leeser?
Here.
Director Woods?
Here.
Mr. Gurney, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. Public comments. Please complete a request to be heard form prior to the start of the meeting. The public may address the board for 3 minutes on district-related matters. The government code permits the board from taking action on matters that are not on the agenda. However, the board may refer the matter for future consideration. And before we get into the public hearing, gentlemen, do you want to brief us on what's going on?
Yeah, good afternoon, Board President and members of the board. Today before you is a public hearing regarding vacancies in compliance with Assembly Bill 2561. Back in September of 2024, Governor Newsom signed AB 2561 into law, mandating public agencies hold a public hearing once a fiscal year to report vacancies, recruitment status, and retention efforts. The 3 requirements AB 2561 is that we have 1 meeting a year. During the hearing, agency must identify any necessary changes to the policy, procedures, and recruitment activity. And number 3, the agency must allow the recognized employees organization, a bargaining unit, to make a presentation at the hearing. So number 1, as of June 1st, of the 19 represented full-time positions with the district, all 19 were filled, and that equates to a 0% vacancy rating. There have been no changes in policy and procedure of the recruitment activity over the past fiscal year. And AFSCME's 1902 union, which is the employees union here, respectfully declined to making a presentation today at the hearing. District staff will continue to prioritize any upcoming recruitments to ensure that the district meets staffing needs. Staff is going to look for comments from the board and then to receive and file these reports. So
before the public hearing, does everybody understand why we're having a public hearing?
Yes.
Any questions of the general manager before we get that started?
No.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second for the open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Cindy, roll call vote, please.
Director Arthur?
Aye.
Director Bowden?
Aye.
Director Coghill?
Aye.
Director Leeser?
Aye.
Director Woods?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Item 1, is there anybody that would like to give public testimony and speak to the public hearing? Okay, so seeing none, need a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
I move to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Cindy, roll call vote, please.
Director Arthur?
Aye.
Director Bowden?
Aye.
Director Leeser?
Aye.
Director Woods?
Aye.
Director Coghill?
Aye. Okay, so item 2, future agenda items and staff task directors' comments and reports. Director Bowden?
I don't have anything right now.
Dr.
I thought
Woods?
we were still on what we were doing.
Still there
Oh, we are?
just on this agenda item.
on
Oh,
this?
we're on the same item?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, have we ever even been close to this, or is just another thing that we're mandated by the state to do because bigger places do different things?
Yeah, so the union representatives, just so you guys know, the one place that they're making the presentation is Met, bigger agency that has multiple vacancies, and they're over the 20% rating. Right now, currently, again, the district's at a 0% vacancy rating.
That's it.
Director Woods?
No question.
Director Arthur?
Nothing.
Director Leeser?
None.
The only thing I have would be, if this is going to be on an annual basis, is it going to be timely for next June, maybe for the June hearing for the budget, or how are we going to do that?
Within the fiscal year, we can do it early in the fiscal year. So we're planning on throwing it on the schedule around March. That gives us March, April to have this public hearing every year from here on out.
Perfect. That answers my question. Okay,
It'll
all,
be just as exciting every time.
These are the exciting meetings of the district, correct?
yeah, these are the ones. Now I need a motion and a second to adjourn the public hearing.
Make a motion?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. The special meeting is now over. Okay. So moving on, we'll move into the regular meeting of the Board of Directors. We've already had a roll call. We don't even have a roll call meeting.
Oh, you're going to start this like a new meeting, so yes, please roll call.
Okay, for the second meeting, we have a roll call vote, a roll call, please, Cindy.
Director Arthur?
Here.
Director Bowden?
Here,
Director Coghill?
Here.
Director Leeser?
Here.
Director Woods?
Here.
Okay, we're going to suspend with the Pledge of Allegiance because we already said that. Additions or deletions to the agenda. Item number 6 on your packet, we're going to delete tonight. We're going to delete that. The general manager will fill you in later.
Item 6.
Item 6, yeah, we're not going to do that. Public comments. As stated, please fill out a request to be heard prior to the start of the meeting. Do we have any public comments?
There are none.
Okay. Item number 1 on the agenda is another public hearing on proposed continuation of a water availability assessment. Again, we're looking for a motion and a second to start the public hearing.
I make a motion to start the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Cindy, roll call.
Director Arthur?
Aye.
Director Bowden?
Aye.
Director Leeser?
Aye.
Director Woods?
Aye.
Director Coghill?
Yes. Okay, item 1.1, board to hear public testimony at this time. Anybody like to speak to the continuation of water availability assessments? Okay. So now we need to close the public hearing. We need a motion to do this all properly. Need
I'll make a
another
motion.
and a second. Moved in second. Roll call.
Director Arthur?
Aye.
Director Bowden?
Aye.
Director Leeser?
Aye.
Director Woods?
Aye.
Director Coghill?
Yes.
Just different.
Yeah. Amazing what we have to go through for lawyers to make things legally correct. Saying that, item number 2, consider resolution 2507, continuing the current existing level of water availability assessment for fiscal year 25-26. Bill Nyes.
Good afternoon, Board. Again, back in March, the Board of Directors approved Resolution 2503 with the intent to continue with the current existing water availability assessment. Today before you is Resolution 2507, continuing the current level of water availability assessment. Current budget assesses the assessment at $592,000. After discussion, the recommendation from the staff would be to approve Resolution 2507, continuing water availability assessment. Open for discussion and questions.
How long have we had this?
Water availability assessment has been here for decades. It's what we pay on the back of our taxes.
Right.
It's a $30 per parcel. The district currently has 13,568 parcels that participate in water availability
So
assessment.
we're either adding or subtracting nothing, we're going to the same level.
Correct.
Okay.
Sometimes when parcels get added or combined, you'll see an add or a deletion depending on if they're adding the parcel or splitting the parcel or joining two parcels. So.
I make a motion that we approve it. It's time to do that.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Cindy.
Director Arthur?
Aye.
Director Bowden?
Aye.
Director Leeser,
Aye.
Director Woods,
Aye.
Director Coghill.
Yes. Agenda item 3, approving resolution 2508 and adopting the proposed budget and compensation plan of the 29 Palms Water District for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. Mr. Manager?
Today before you is that resolution 2508, approving and adopting the district's proposed annual budget for fiscal year 25-26. Very little was added from the meeting last month where the draft, Scott and myself are here to answer any questions that you may have on the budget tonight. Staff is making the recommendation tonight that we approve the budget and resolution 2508, including the district's compensation plan of the employees. If there's any questions.
Dr. Leader, any comments?
None from my end.
Director Arthur?
No.
Kicking this pig for a while.
Director Woods? Director Bowden?
I thought they covered it very well the last meeting.
I agree with you, sir. I have no questions either. So, that said, we need a motion and a second to approve the resolution.
Motion to adopt resolution 2508.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, Cindy?
Director Arthur,
Aye.
Director Bowden,
Aye.
Director Leeser,
Aye.
Director Woods,
Aye.
Director Coghill.
Yes. Item 4, adopting resolution 2509, commending Rochelle Bowe for 37 years of public service. General Manager?
Today before you is Resolution 2509. I will be making the presentation, and I will walk over the resolution when I'm done. I'm going to do the resolution from here. Resolution 2509 is a resolution from the Board of Directors of the 29 Palms Water District commending Rochelle Bowe for 37 years of public service. Whereas Rochelle Bowe has been employed with the 29 Palms Water District since May 9th, 1988. And whereas Rochelle Bowe has held the position of office manager for 25 years since November 22nd of 2000. And whereas Rochelle Bowe has been committed and dedicated public servant and has tirelessly and cooperatively to promote the well-being of the 29 Palms Water District. Whereas Rochelle Bowe's ability to guide and develop office staff, leading to an increased team performance and reduced turnover. And whereas Rochelle Bowe has fostered a positive and productive work environment and contributed to the overall success of the organization. And whereas throughout many of her years of service, Rochelle Bowe has served the people of this district with fairness and dedication with years of institutional knowledge. And whereas not only as a public servant to this community, Rochelle Bowe served this district as a mentor, a friend, a dedicated coworker. And whereas the Board of Directors of the 29 Palms Water District desire the pleasure of recognizing and commending Rochelle Bowe for such public service, and now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Directors of the 29 Palms Water District does by this resolution honor, thank, and commend Rochelle Bowe for 37 years of public service to the 29 Palms Water District. And no speech needs to be done.
Well, she was sitting right by the podium. I figured she'd get up and say,
No, she's good.
So how many years does she put up with you, Matt? She's like,
For a while.
she like babysat you, right? Raised you? Here at the district.
Twice with me.
Rochelle, congratulations. And thank you.
Motion.
And with that, we need a motion and a second to, for the resolution 2509.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. To adopt.
Roll call, Cindy?
Yes. Director Arthur,
Aye.
Director Bowden,
Aye.
Director Leeser,
Aye.
Director Woods,
Aye.
and Director Coghill.
Yes. Okay, item 5. Consideration of resolution 2510 exception of the 100-day waiting period in accordance with California Code for Rochelle Bowe. General Manager?
Resolution 2510 is the exemption of the 180-day waiting period to establish a retired annuitant appointment for Rochelle Bowe. Rochelle Bowe has been with the district for 37 years and in the district's, as the district's office manager, comes with major knowledge of district's operations and policies. The district has utilized the retired annuitant appointment with Linda Stahl and Irene Beard and has been very successful. As the retired annuitant, Rochelle Bowe can come in as an as-needed basis to help train not only the office manager, but all staff members throughout the district. The limit would be 960 hours per fiscal year. There are certain reporting requirements that are done once per year, biannually, quarterly, and even monthly that Rochelle Bowe will still need to be helping us with some cross training. The retired annuitant has worked extremely well, bringing back skilled, knowledgeable, and familiar employees back to the district after retirement to help the district move forward with the senior positions that are being switched out for new employees. So staff is making the recommendation that we approve this resolution, mainly for Rochelle Bowe retired annuitant position. And if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
She isn't gonna be on like some kind of permanent schedule, it's just gonna be called in as needed, and you don't anticipate using a whole lot of the 960 hours anyway, or getting, unless something drastic happens?
Yeah, something drastic, for whatever reason, a sickness. So our
Right.
district is a smaller district that employee-wise, somebody goes out on vacation. But no, I don't see us using her as a Monday through Friday kind of person. And again, it's 960 hours through the fiscal year or at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Right.
And I would just add that consideration of Rochelle and other retired annuitants was included in the adopted budget.
Right, right, it's worked out well in other positions or other places around that you have that in place so that they can get right on it if they need be.
Anything for?
No.
anybody?
None.
Would you like to make that into form
I'll
of
make a motion
sir?
to approve this.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Cindy?
Director Arthur,
Aye.
Director Bowden,
Aye.
Director Leeser,
Aye.
Director Woods,
Aye.
and Director Coghill.
Yes. Which brings us to item 7, since 6 was deleted. Approving amendment to general manager employment agreement. General manager.
Before the board today is the new contract between the 29 Palms Water District and Matt Schrag on a new employment agreement. In closed session, the board recommended bringing back a new full agreement which included the original agreement and the amendments to previous contracts. Included in the staff report is the new agreement, which extends through June 30th of 2029. Open for discussion, but staff would be making the recommendation to approve the contract.
Okay. Questions or comments, Director Leader?
Captured all the changes that we were stumbling over last time here. I'm good to go.
Director Arthur?
Nothing.
Director Woods?
I'm good.
None. Okay. So we're going to have a roll call vote on this also.
Well, I'll make I will move to approve the general manager's employment agreement, the agreement that will be between General Manager Matt Schrag and the 29 Palms Water District.
It's been moved. Do we have a second?
I'd second that.
Moved and seconded. Cindy? Roll call.
Director Arthur,
Aye.
Director Bowden,
Aye.
Director Leeser,
Aye.
Director Woods,
Aye.
and Director Coghill.
Yes. Number 8 brings us to the consent calendar. I got my notes here. Matters under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted in a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the board, staff, or the public request specific items be removed for separate discussion and action before the board votes on a single motion to adopt. They include the minutes of the regular meeting held on May 28, 2025, and the audit list. So, looking for a motion to approve the audit list.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes and approve the audit list.
Need a second.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item 9. There are no item 9 because there was nothing removed from the August list. Item 10, manager's report. First up is going to be our maintenance supervisor, Mike Miniford.
Good evening, Board of Directors. The Operation and Maintenance Department performed the following tasks during the month of May. Responded to 62 underground service alerts, 3 leak audits, 29 shutoffs, 488 total work orders completed, 108 valves exercised. There were 1,266 past due bills, totaled $7,953.66. And if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions, and then I can move on to production if you would like me to.
Questions of Supervisor Miniford?
Real quick, what's a dead end flush?
So we're on a one-year cycle. Fiscal year, we flush all the dead ends in the system. If it's not a loop system, we have our guys go out there and flush all the dead ends once a year.
Do they have to dig them all up to do that, or is it made to do that?
It's made to do that. Some are in fire hydrants and some are actually in meter boxes, a 2-inch blow off, and they hook up to that, flush it. We keep track of all the water for water waste and all that to report it to the state.
Have you discovered some problems in the past when you would do one of those? Sorry.
Take it? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so at the dead ends, we have to be very careful at the end of a 2-inch line, somebody realizing that a dead end is there and they tie onto it and then run a water service to their house. Also, from flushing dead ends, we do have to fix dead ends because the valve, you rotate the valve and kind of break the handle, so there's a lot of maintenance that goes on. But dead ends are important because at the end of your lines, if you're not getting that bacteria to go through, or the chlorination to go through, and you're exchanging chlorination from nothing to positive chlorination, you're not gonna see, and that's a spot that could grow some algae or can grow coliform. So it's a spot that we have to flush to make sure that we're getting chlorine to that dead end.
I'm a dead end specialist now, thank you.
Director Woods?
Expert.
Comments, Director Harper?
Nothing.
Director Leeser?
None, thank you.
Okay, Superintendent Sheldon is not going to be able to be with us tonight, so Superintendent Miniford is going to take over that report. Mike?
Water quality report, bacteria samples. A total of 40 routine bacteria samples were collected at test points for the storage and distribution system during this past month. In addition, 14 special bacteria samples were collected. All routine and special samples indicated absence of call alert. And I'll move on to water production. The district produced 202 acre feet, which is a 4.9% decrease compared to the year previous, 2024, and a 26% decrease compared to 2013. And if the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Director Leeser?
None.
Director Harper?
None.
Director Woods?
Good.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Which brings us to 10.3, Finance. Scott, you're up.
Thank you. Included in packets tonight are financial reports through the month of April 2025. A few items to highlight on these reports, starting on the investments, the first page of the report. In April, we do receive our quarterly LAIF interest receipt. And just to touch on district investments and where they stand. District's primary investment vehicles are investments in LAIF and in the California Liquid Asset Security Systems class. Class is what holds the majority of our investments. Currently, interest rates are still holding very high. We're north of 4.2% still as of April and May. So favorable interest rates have continued longer than we would have expected, but that's just in the upside for the agency. On the budget to actual report, under our non-operating revenues, our capital impact fees on line 8 above budget due to our conservative budgeting there. Interest revenues, as mentioned, is outperforming budget due to not only having more invested funds than anticipated due to the timing of our capital spending, but also those favorable interest rates. And reimbursed expenses on line 12 exceeding budget due to all the insurance reimbursements received, mainly relating to stolen generator and other items in the fiscal year. Lastly, I wanted to call out one expense line under direct expenses for the treatment facility on line 35. As of April, that is at 90% of the budget year-to-date on the operating expenses. Reason for that is the timing of bulk chemical purchases. Sometimes the timing of those big media purchases that occur depends infrequently throughout the year. We happen to have kind of our last big purchase for the fiscal year occurring in April. With that, happy to answer any questions of the board.
Questions, Director Bowden? Director Woods? Director Arthur?
No.
Director Leader?
None.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Which brings us to the general manager's report. General Manager?
I was only going to talk about one item, and that's Rochelle Bowe. But I am going to thank you for the approval of my contract. It means a lot going into a closed session, and you guys having the faith that you have in me. I wanted you to know that I appreciate the contract extension. I want to take this time to speak about Rochelle Bowe. 37 years at the district, you're going to be missed tremendously. From the desserts in the break room, to the conversations in your office, to all the mistakes you have helped me fix throughout the years. It's not going to be easy. We have the confidence in Victoria being the new office manager, but also very grateful that Rochelle Bowe is coming back as a retired annuitant. Rochelle Bowe has been a staple of the office for years and years as a public servant. When it comes to your time as a public servant to go, we understand, and you get to pick that. So the district's directors, employees, and customers appreciate all that you have done to represent this district, and you've definitely represented us well. This is a well-deserved retirement. I can only hope that you get to spend the majority of your time with your grandbabies, except when the district calls. We would hope that you can come in. Congratulations, Rochelle, and I know Rochelle is not big on the hoorah on her as a true public servant. So thank you for coming. There's some cupcakes at the end of the day for everybody. I hope I got enough because it's a big crowd. But I just want to thank her. 37 years here at this district is more than most of us are going to put in. So thank you and enjoy your retirement. So with that being said, that finishes my management report.
Okay. Item 11, future agenda items and staff tasks, director's comments and reports. Director Leach.
None.
Director Arthur.
Nothing.
Director Woods.
Nope.
Director Bowden. Okay. I have two. One of which, last month at the meeting, Director Arthur, you asked for a review of the purchasing policy with regards to raising the $1,000 for 3 bids to $3,000 to $5,000 for the bids. Staff is going to be working on that, but we're going to be working on that later in the year because we have to go back and review the budget that we just, or not the budget, the spending purchasing policy that we just did. Too bad we didn't know about that request earlier. So we're going to go back and review them all and bring them all up to date, not just the one we did, but the one you suggested. It's a good suggestion. We're going to do that. Just not right now. It's going to be soon. The second thing is our August meeting for the 4th Wednesday of August. That coincides with the conference in Monterey that 4 of us and the general manager are going to attend. So I need to know what your pleasure is about having a meeting early or not having a meeting at all. What is the pleasure of the board?
Is there something pressing or urgent? We won't know until we get closer to it.
I'll have to defer that to the general manager.
So next month, we have some things coming as far as a salary or a rate increase. So we have an RFP out on a rate increase with 3 consultants to get a new rate study done. The other thing is our urban water management plan, but that's probably coming next month. Here's what I was explaining to Director Coghill, is if there is something that comes up, we have 24 hours to post a special meeting if a special meeting needs to take place. So, the recommendation from staff is August, I think we could do without the August meeting. And if a special meeting needs to take place, something comes up, a well goes down, and we have to approve funds, we call a special meeting within 24 hours. If not, we move it up 1 week, and we just, between those months, we get together a board packet like we normally do, so.
If you had a well go down, you might have to call a special meeting anyway.
Right, so,
That's true.
correct.
So from what I'm hearing is there's nothing special and pressing for the August meeting. We will have things to do in the July meeting, as stated. So if it's the pleasure of the board, why don't we just forego the August meeting and,
I would say move that we forego the August meeting.
I can't hear you,
I
Larry.
would forego it.
Okay. And pick up anything that we need to pick up in September. And if there's something pressing, we can have a special meeting. Does everybody agree to that?
I'm fine with that.
Second.
So that's what we're going to do. All right. Any other comments? All right. And lastly, item 12. That's the big one, adjournment. Need a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you all for being here, and Michelle, congratulations.